Hello, welcome to R Basics. Today we'll be speaking to you about creating line charts in R. So let's begin. First of all, line charts are created with the plot command in R. As a side note, you can also create line charts with ggplot2. However, in this module, I'm just going to be focused on the basic R graphics. In this particular, this is the plot command. The basic syntax for creating a line chart in R is as you see it right here. So you have the plot statement that begins with X, which is the data object containing the values used in the X-axis. Y is a data object containing the numeric values used in a Y-axis. X and Y can reside in the same data object or different data objects. Type is the letter value corresponding to the way points and lines are drawn. Main indicates the title of the chart. Sub indicates the subtitle of the chart. XLab is the X-axis label, YLab is a Y-axis label, and COL indicates the color for the lines and the points. Now, there are two cases in using the plot command. Case 1 is where the X-axis values are numeric. Case 2 is where the X-axis values are characters. I'm going to go over case 1 first. And we're going to use the data frame temp. So let's go ahead and pull it into RStudio. So I'm going to the temp directory and going into the temp file. All right, and we're going to go ahead and accept all the defaults, and we're going to import it. So at this point, what you can see is for the month of January, we've got all the days of the month, and we've got the high and low temperatures. So let's go back to the slides. We're going to go ahead and issue this particular plot statement right here. Before I issue it, let me just review some basics here. So you have, you'll note right here, I'm referencing the day, and I'm using the $ in front of the day so that it can be pulled, the values can be pulled from the data object. And then I'm doing the same thing over here for the Y values using the $ in front of the low column. And then this is type B. As you recall, the type argument specifies the value as far as drawing the points and the lines. For example, type B is equal to draws points with line segments in between. All right. And at the very end of the statement, you see COL is equal to 3. Actually, 3 is the color green for, and you can actually play with this yourself. You can have 1 is black, 2 is red, 3 is green, 4 is blue, etc. So let's go ahead and issue this statement. Okay, so as you can see, you have the entire chart illustrated right here. And let's go back to the slides, and I'm going to show you something else. Now, some of you probably don't like to use the $ in the plot statement. So what you can do is, if you don't want to do that, you can issue the with command along with the plot command to actually accomplish the same thing. So you see right here I have with, left paren, and then temp, which is the data object name, comma, and then the plot statement to the following right of it, but there's no $ at all there. So we could, let me just go ahead and copy and paste this in, and you could see it works just as well. Let me go ahead and get rid of this. There you have it. Okay, now let's go back to the slides. Now, there are other arguments that you can use in a plot command. PCH alters the plotting symbol. So the default, if you don't specify it, is PCH is equal to 1. 1 means a circle. So you can, like, 2 is a triangle, 3 is a plus sign. You can actually play with this yourself. Now CEX alters the plotting symbol size, and the default is CEX is equal to 1.0. So to make a point smaller, you would use a value less than 1, for example, 0.5. To make the symbol larger, you would use a value greater than 1.0, for example, 1.5 or 2, like so. Now, LTY alters the line type. The default is LTY is equal to 1. 1 is a solid line. You can make it 2 is equal dashed, 3 dotted, etc. Now, LWD makes the line and plotting symbol wider or thinner. The default is LWD is equal to 1. So values are integers which are greater than 1. So in this statement right here, as an example, you look at the far right, I have PCH is equal to 2, which is going to be a triangle. CEX is equal to 1.5. So I'm going a little bit larger in my plotting symbol size. LTY is equal to 5. 5 is equal to long dash, and LWD is equal to 2. So let's go ahead and copy this, and then go ahead and issue the statement. Okay, so you could see what's been produced. You could play around with any of these additional arguments that I just mentioned to you, and you could have fun with it and alter what you're looking at. Now, let's go back to the slides. Now you have the case 2, where case 2 is where the x-axis values are characters. Now what we're going to do to illustrate to you how to deal with this situation is we're going to go into a different data object. It's labeled energy. So let's go ahead and source that in. So let's go ahead and clear this up. All right, and we're going to go in and look for a file called energy, and then once again the temp directory, and there we have it. I'm going to accept all the defaults and import it in, and you can see is what I have here is the months of the year, and in the first column, in the second column I have kilowatt hours that are consumed, and this is then the third column is therms that are consumed. So that's how the data looks like. Let's go ahead and go back to the slides. Now, in creating the plot for this, it's a 4-step process. Step 1 is to create a line plot with label axes, but with blank axes lines. So let's go ahead and issue this statement. So what you'll notice here is where it says axes is equal to false. So that will create the blank axis lines. All right. So let's go ahead and issue this statement. Now, so you see there are no axis lines, but everything else is there. So that's step 1. Step 2 is we construct the x-axis with tick marks 1 through 12. And we do this with the axis command. Side 1 is the x-axis. Side 2 is the y-axis. Side 3 is the one axis on top, and to the right is side 4. So let's go ahead and issue this statement. And there you have the x-axis. And then we'll go to step number 3. We construct the y-axis. And now you see the y-axis. And now we complete the entire plot by issuing the box statement. And there you have it, entirely complete. So at this point, we've completed this module. I want to thank you for watching R Basics. I want to ask you to please check in on the R Basics channel for other modules that may interest you. Have a good day. Thanks and goodbye.